Welcome back. Sorry for that breaking device quickly, but the eviction order continues, and as you can see, it's coupled with demolition, and the excavator behind us has been demolishing several structures here in the CDC headquarters since we arrived here in Congo Town this morning. At around 5:30 a.m. this morning, we arrived at the entry of the headquarters, where we noticed partisans were in here where we stand currently, and they were burning tires at the entry also. And of course, we saw the deployment of police officers, several police units being deployed in various locations around this particular vicinity. And the officers moved in here, and obviously from one structure to the other, they asked the folks in here to depart peacefully. And of course, some of them who had belongings in here took them out and left the party headquarters. There are other folks who were arrested. One of them claimed he was deeply asleep and did not know that this eviction. There's also another structure right behind us here where the police discovered 2 rifles, and they also discovered a handgun in another structure at the back of the compound. And the police have in their possession several bullets of handguns and here from the compound of the CDC. So the eviction continues. The excavator also continues demolishing structures as we walk you through. So welcome back to this other section of our coverage here from the headquarters, or now former headquarters of the CDC, as they are being evicted from this property, as the owner has asked or has won the case from the courts, and has now asked the government of Liberia to assist, or the court have asked the national police or joint security to assist in this eviction process. So it's taking place, it's happening. As you can see, structures are being brought down, trees are being brought down. So thanks for those of you who have stuck with us, who have followed us since 5 a.m. this morning, since we started this coverage. And wherever you're watching from, we'd like to say thanks. If you're also listening to us on ELBC Radio 99.9 FM, we would love to say thanks for listening. And now the excavator will make its way at the other portion of this building, as it appears to be flattening this entire structure from what it looks like. And it will throw the tree on top of the building, giant sized mango tree. And of course, there are electricity cables also running in that direction. They are also being brought down. And if we can just zoom in a little bit for you, just so you have a clearer view of what's happening as we speak. Residents from the neighborhood are also standing by and witnessing this demolition or this eviction process. The excavator continues to dig into the walls of the famous CDC headquarters here in Congo Town. 20 years of residence. This structure has been brought down. Of course, Aaron built of concrete and steel for over 20 years, and structures are being brought down.
Very solid building.
Of course.
Very solid.
Definitely.
I'm told this building was here even before the CDC could move here.
Well, I can't verify that independently. I can't, we can verify whether this particular structure was erected by them, except for this one right here. Know of this one. This is the Vocational Skill Training Institute built by the CDC. The surrounding structures were all erected. All of these surrounding structures were all recently erected. In fact, that one, the one in which the lethal weapons were discovered, is in fact one of the most recent structures. Coupled with this one right here, are both two of some of the most recent structures to be erected here in the headquarters of the CDC. This one contains bathrooms, and you name it. But again, the excavator continues to dig in. The excavator continues to dig in.
Is a political leader of the CDC in the country?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yes, it appears. But since the eviction conversation has been going around, the political leader of the CDC has not made any official statement whatsoever. In fact, with the trending images of a proposed party headquarters or proposed new party headquarters, we've not heard anything from the political leader himself. In fact, amongst that, the famous or the quote-unquote "we are tired" protest that was held, or enough protest, whatever it was stacked as, we also did not hear any statement or whatsoever from the political leader of the CDC. Some of the most recent trending discussions, he seemed to be a bit quiet in my mind. And moreover, he has been making lots of trips focusing on international endeavors. Just the other day we saw him in a photo with Nana Akufo-Addo. We also saw the former president in France joining his son as he signed on to Marseille, French football club Marseille. I don't want to jump the rope, but it appears he hasn't been involved in party activities or political activities of recent.
And most recently he was in Africa, and he took.
Yeah, that's what I said. He was with Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara of recent. So, but well, right now on social media, if you're following, there are. I mean, the conversation is huge, like I keep saying, and there are stewards of the CDC who are writing, who are posting, who are expressing their thoughts and views about this particular eviction. And obviously, the discussion is huge, even for those in the comment section.
Actually, the bigger news here today is the discovery of the lethal weapons.
Definitely, this is one of the biggest news. Obviously, while it's choose this eviction is taking place, the discovery of two rifles, one that looks like a snapper rifle, amongst other were discovered. So I'm also trying to surf social media to show you basically some of the discussions that are being held in the corridors as it relates to this eviction or demolition, as you may call it. Yes, an eviction coupled with a demolition. So the excavator will go around the building and go at the other end. It appears it's resolved to bring down this entire structure, and the operator, as I keep calling him, is quite aggressive. And yes sir, everything. So the operator of the excavator is seem to be getting instructions from his superiors. And prior to this eviction, the young people from the youth wing of the Coalition for Democratic Change were gearing up for what looked like a retaliatory action, but no, we did not see anything of such. There is another structure that is going to be defaced. In fact, this one, Aaron, is the oldest structure so far in the party headquarters or here in the compound of the CDC. This one that is about to be demolished is the oldest. Let's get down, Aaron. Yes, this is one of the longest lasting structures here in the compound of the CDC. And he's taking the entire building down. I mean, speaking of the eviction process, what could be the reason for the owner of this property now wanting to have a political establishment on it? That could be a huge question, because the discussion is that these actions are being politically motivated on both ends. You know, there are those who are for, there are those who are against, there are those who think this is not an individual decision made by the owner of the property and that they are being somehow coerced. But those are thoughts of folks from the opposite end of the discussion.
Apparently, the owner of this property may want to build real estates instead of political party having headquarters here. We want to use this as a real estate center where you build properties and people come and rent.
Okay, and that could be another reason, because come to think of it, properties now in central Monrovia, Cinco, in this part of the country are quite expensive now. We're talking hundreds of thousands of US dollars to acquire a property like this. Could it be that the owners of the property and the CDC could not reach tangible agreements to maintain this property or probably buy it? There have been discussions we've been hearing in the corridors that the party made several attempts to secure this property for themselves, but that we cannot independently verify. But that's the thing about urbanization also. Owners of properties who are leasing and renting them might have change of heart in the future as the country advances or develops.
Yeah, at times, Tony, one thing that I realized is you see land always appreciate, land will never depreciate.
Definitely.
And looking at the position where the land is situated, it tells you exactly that this property is actually a family inheritance.
Definitely, and then it's kind of situated at an ideal location from what it looks like.
Yes.
Come to think of it, structures in this particular vicinity worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right by the CDC, there is a compound of the, I think, BMC compound.
Yes.
There's also right across the road, Lone Star Cell, MTN, a very huge commercial zone where trading is taking place. Who knows what the owner of this property wants to erect here in this particular location? Because that could be another thing that would justify that the owner meant well and it was not politically motivated or induced, for what it looks like. So what do you expect? Do we expect to start seeing infrastructure coming up very soon right in this vicinity by the owner of this property? Because the question will obviously be, you didn't evict the CDC to leave the place vulnerable, obviously, especially with the demolition process. One will say the owner of the property obviously might not want those structures on there. They might want to be able to erect something of their own. So that's one reason why the demolition is also taking place, apart from just evicting the occupants.
Yeah, so after this whole eviction order, the next thing, they probably are waiting to see what
goes on next.
The next thing could be the owners of this property may want to develop the property to his or her, appetite.
Sure, definitely.
Maybe you want to build store, you want to build residential place, you want to build a hotel, recreational center.
You never know.
Yes.
But I guess now the excavator will make its way out, or from what I'm looking at, just continue the demolition. Obviously, it might be going in that direction of the building where the lethal weapons were discovered. Well, you never know. But earlier it was here and brought down this same very building. Yeah, so it's probably trying to complete the job. He's probably trying to complete the job. But there's a slope there, and well,
you gotta be careful.
Well, the guy seemed to understand his work, so seemed to understand his work. So he continues breaking through, trying to make his way into that particular location. Aaron, from what it looks like, the excavator wants to go in there, and he has gotten down into the trenches. He's gotten down into the trench, tearing the roof apart, breaking down walls aggressively. Bringing down walls aggressively, tearing the roof apart. Tearing the roof apart.
So, turning from the local things, if the court can rule and the law is currently being enforced by the Liberia National Police and other security apparatus, it speaks clearly that the love is above all.
Definitely.
So this is CDC today. Tomorrow it could be
anyone.
A private individual. Whenever the court rules, you have to either negotiate or you move.
Definitely. So the excavator is now heading in this direction. It appears wanting to make its way. Still receiving calls from what it looks like. I see he has to his ears his smartphone or his phone to his ears. All right, trying to go in that other direction. Yes, there's another structure somewhere in the back, I guess. That's exactly where he wants to make his way. So we're hoping to see if we can talk to police spokesperson Cecilia G. Clark or probably anyone in charge of this particular evacuation and now you will now break down this entire coconut tree. Down it goes, and also he will break down the structure that's been built here. The light pole brought down, and also breaking down the building itself, tearing the roof apart. Tearing the entire roof apart. And of course, folks, hope you're still listening to us. Hope you're still listening to us. We are seeing a group of folks who look like we don't know who they are. We are obviously looking at our colleagues. What do we do?
We posted here.
So remain posted. We'll remain posted as the demolition continues. But it appears there's some action somewhere, somewhat across the road. Actually, but let's stay posted. Let's stay posted. Once that requires our attention, we'll bring you the details from there. But we're still here in the headquarters of the CDC as the eviction continues from the court. The police is carrying out a court order to evict the former ruling establishment from its safe place or from its headquarters, once occupied for over 20 years or for around 20 years. And the security apparatus have made several discoveries while evacuating the place. Speaking of a discovery of lethal weapons, that includes bullets also, for shotgun bullets were discovered. Breaking metals, tearing roofs apart. And the eviction of the famous CDC party headquarters continues. And this side of the building, the excavator is going deep into the structure and tearing the roof apart. There you have it. All right, there you have him, still digging in, still breaking down these structures. All right. Demolition continues. And the excavator is going from one structure to the other, tearing through the roofs powerfully from one structure to the other. And tearing through the roofs. So there you have it. Could this be another setback for the former ruling establishment, or could this be a motivation to get another party headquarters for themselves? Still breaking structures down, folks. Still breaking structures down. Still breaking structures down. Yes. Well, folks. So obviously this is a 4.2 acres property here in Congo Town. And sometimes in 2014, when the intestate estate of Martha Stubberfield Bernard, she filed an injunction action against the CDC by 2016, still remember, and both a lower court and Supreme Court ruled in favor of the estate, finding the parties' continued occupation unlawful. That was sometimes in 2016, and in May of 2025, the Supreme Court delivered a decisive ruling against the CDC that the CDC was mandated to vacate the property, and its lawyers were fined for filing frivolous legal motions, according to the court at the time. But on the 1st of August of this year, the Civil Law Court denied the CDC's bid to force the sale of the property. That means they were bidding for the property to be sold, but the Civil Law Court denied them that bid. They were bidding, and then according to the Civil Law Court at the time, they said there was no valid contract for the purchase of the property. That means the owner of the property was not putting it up for sale. So a writ of possession was issued by the Civil Law Court on the 4th of August of 2025, ordering the eviction of the CDC from this particular property that you're looking at. And so authorities, including the LNP, at the instruction of the police IG, began the enforcement of this particular invasion and demolition of structures, including fencing and parts of a vocational school on the premises. I mean, you all have seen the demolition of the vocational school here on the CDC compound. But as we speak, the CDC is characterizing this invasion, they are characterizing this demolition or eviction as a police evasion. That yes, they're claiming that they are being evaded, and they're affirming that they have appealed to the Supreme Court. They have appealed bonds to the Supreme Court, and they are still maintaining that the dispute remains a civil matter.
The Supreme Court,
according to this case, according to the CDC, it still remains a civil matter under litigational review. Yeah, I mean, you are the lawyer, you are the legal guy, but according to them, it's under litigational review. Currently, Janga Kowo, the national chairman, was emphasizing that the party's determination is to pursue legal resources and continue mobilizing despite the setback. And he's mentioned the term setback here again in this particular instance. Yeah, but this property belongs to the estate of Martha Stubberfield Bernard and per code rulings. And it also claimed CDC's position in this case. They claimed right of first refusal, and they attempted to owners of the properties did not put it off for bid, you know. So, and also the CDC also lost successive cases at the Supreme Court, including the civil law court, sir. Yes, and this eviction is now being enforced. Still connected. So, I mean, basically, this is obviously a huge setback for the political establishment, the CDC, and for, you know, forcing the CDC to move from a long-time area that they've occupied. You can call it a long-time base of a strategic importance. That's a nice way to describe it, because here several top political decisions were reached, but it's obviously an operational setback. But the judiciary's firm rulings underline the rule of law here in terms of implementing this eviction.
Yes.
It's basically geared towards the rule of law, and it's even against prominent political entities, obviously. So CDC's, from what I look like, their willingness to continue legal challenges and hold mass meetings reflects on, you know, ongoing mobilization and resistance. Because you were talking about it earlier, you said they are claiming to have an executive meeting at around 1 p.m. 1 p.m. today. So we're hoping to hear from the CDC as it relates to what they make of this eviction.
The thing is, CDC is asking the owner of this property to purchase the property.
Yeah, they are bidding.
Yes, and the owner is telling you, I cannot sell my property to you.
Yes.
I cannot sell my property to you. So, and the court has ruled in favor of the property owner. So, what CDC is sticking on here is, they have been here for over 20 years. And the 20-year period, they are always pay their rent to the landlord. So if you are coming up now, they are legitimate tenants. That's how they describe it. They are being a legitimate tenant paying rent directly to the owner. So now they are bidding to buy the property. So what they are pulling forth, the owner of the property is saying, we cannot sell our property for this amount. So that's the issue right now. And the court ruled in favor of the property owner.
And so as we're looking currently, the excavator is still digging in. It appears it wants to make its way to the next structure that it's untouched.
Yes.
There's this one structure far beyond that has not been touched yet. And the excavator is making its way out there. It has already entered the trench, as you can see. And obviously Aaron will have to just stand a little close and zoom in. As there is a downpour already. Yes. It's raining. But just so we can show you the excavator. Yeah, that's exactly where the lethal weapons were discovered. So the excavator is now at that structure. We can't go in there. There are nails on the floor. The zinc is scattered everywhere. But we can go from that direction and be able to capture that building as it's being demolished by the excavator. But also, we still have a huge police presence here on the grounds of the CDC. A huge police presence. Lots of police officers still roaming around the premises of the headquarters. The road has been blocked. No, that's another way. Like I told you, so familiar with this environment. obviously, I mean, since this is a joint effort, I think there's a need for the LWSC to come in because the entire pipe is kind of pumping water profusely. It's kind of pumping water profusely. Let's see if we can make our way in the other direction. So, I mean, this is a consolidated effort, Aaron. If you notice, the folks from the LEC are also here to make sure they can reroute their cables. You see these fellows are taking these giant-sized cables. So the LEC folks are taking these giant-sized cables. So let's now make our way to the other end of the building where the excavator is about to demolish another structure. So once that demolition takes place, then it means the rest of the structures behind here, if you can just show the structures behind here, will also be demolished from what it looks like. But let's go and show you. So this is the back of that building that we were showing you earlier that was being demolished. This is the back. There is a water supply system, and also these are residents, homes for yes, residents all here. They will also be demolished. You can see there are some belongings strewn to the floor, mattresses, and so this structure that you see right here was one of the most protected buildings, in the compound. This structure right here is one of the most protected buildings in the compound. This is the building in which the lethal weapons. This is a building in which the lethal weapons were discovered. And if you look at the top, Aaron, it's fully AC'd. It has a power supply of solar lights, and they're still removing stuff from in the building. But the guy with the excavator has been instructed to bring it down, so he's all here ready to bring it down. So let's have a glance. See. So yes, if you can focus on him a little bit, the guy has already started digging to make his way out there. Now he's digging his path to lay the track. He's laying the path to lay his tracks. So they're asking the folks in there to get out. And so there you have it. He will first, from what it looks like, attack the trees that are standing in this direction. Okay, so Aaron, there are folks in there, security folks were in there, from the police, the forensic team from the LMP. If you look closely, that fellow with the nose mask with the gloves in his hand, that's coming closer to us here, is from the forensic team. There you have it. There on his back is written, and they were taking evidence, capturing evidence from within the building. And so they've already left. I guess they must have gotten all the necessary details that they needed or were looking for. So the excavator will now go right ahead and all right, he draws back a little bit. So folks, it's a little stand up here amongst the officers. So they're asking the guy with the excavator to slow down a little bit. All right, so the electricity technician from the electricity corporation will go in there and make sure the connections are brought down, disconnected, before the guy with the excavator can continue. But he just seems very impatient. No one there for us. Yeah.
I'm picking will carry a good watch for my son. You know, I move around the video. I'm moving our year. They said I work for my camera. Come, I let my bag with everything. It's just picking. I know that just picking. Let me see how they taking it. And when they're taking it. And then when they're
So the demolition, the eviction continues, guys, and the folks are still demolishing properties, structures here in the headquarters. So among some of the discoveries made, there are also discovery of petrol pumps. So he's at the back now of the HQ itself, and down demolishing the back of the HQ. Previously you saw him breaking down the front portion, but now this is the back. So the demolition continues, folks. Still breaking down the full building itself. So this controversial 4.2 acres of property here in Congo Town is now being defaced and demolished a struggle that began since 2014 when the estate of Martha Stubblefield Bernard filed an ejectment action rather against the CDC. In fact, it even went on up to 2016. Both of them lower, both of the courts, the lower and the Supreme Court rather, they ruled in the favor of the estate, which is the Martha Stubblefield Bernard estate. I mean, they described the occupation of the CDC as unlawful at the time. Recent rather, in May of 2025, the Supreme Court delivered a decisive ruling, and the CDC asking the CDC to vacate the property. And the lawyers of the CDC actually fined at the time for filing frivolous legal motions. So on the 1st of August of this year, the Civil Law Court denied the CDC's bid to force a sale of the property. That means they were trying to encourage the owners of the property bidding, but that did not go through. So now as we speak, the eviction is in process, and the excavator will break down another structure, as it's been doing, breaking down several structures since morning. And now he will take instruction from his superior, but this operator seems tireless. So folks, if you're listening to us and following us here on EOBC LNTV Liberia from the headquarters, or now former headquarters of the CDC, Coalition for Democratic Change, they've occupied this properties, this particular 4.2 acre of property for around 20 years now. And according to court order today, they are being evicted, and their structures are being demolished. And now he will tear it apart. Yeah. And there you have it, a newly erected structure being brought down. And of course, this is the building this is the exact building where the weapons were discovered. This is the exact building where the weapons were discovered. bringing the walls down, tearing the roof apart, disconnecting electrical connections, including trees, all being brought down. Keep washing, guys, keep washing. All right, so it appears he has completely brought this structure down. So Aaron, I mean, the building, of course, that was very tough to penetrate. It's now flat to the floor. I mean, in less than 5 minutes, or in over 5 minutes, the excavator has brought it down flat to the floor.
Yeah, and I'm just standing here thinking the efforts that were placed into constructing this building. The
materials,
time,
of course,
the duration, expensive.
But I can guarantee you this structure was built just right after January, when President Boakai won the elections. This is a brand new structure, like I told you. I know this environment very well, and this structure was built in not more than 5 months.
Yeah, and it was just a very gigantic, good-looking building.
Of course, but
Well
come to think of it, well furnished, but well secured also. And I'm so concerned about that level of security, the layers, before having access to the entry. No wonder there was discovery of, lethal weapons and all of you. None of that, rather. Sure, I mean, so like you can see, the excavator aggressively bringing it down, brick by brick, tearing through the roof. And I mean, like, finally, the entire structure is down to the floor. The entire structure is down to the floor. I mean, this is it, Aaron. I mean, we just wanted to show the folks, the demolition as it continues. But this is all part of an eviction that has been ordered by the courts, and the police are here helping the court to implement this eviction order. And so the excavator has brought several structures down, and now this is the most recent one being brought down. And if you look at this end, Aaron, you just focus here. This is the main HQ building of the CDC. The headquarters itself, demolished beyond recognition, brought down to the floor, obviously.
Where is the conference room?
Yeah, obviously there's a conference room up there. There are offices for party hierarchies, and you name it.
So folks, we are still here at the headquarters of the former ruling CDC, where the Liberia National Police is currently carrying on an eviction order from civil law court at the Temple of Justice. After the civil law court rules, and there was a petition filed before the Supreme Court of Liberia, and the Supreme Court rules reaffirming the ruling from the lower courts. And on today, the 23rd of August 2025, the court asked the Liberia National Police to carry on the eviction, and it is currently taking place. And the bigger news today is this particular building and the bigger news today is this building that was just demolished by the...
I mean, that's it. The entire building,
Yes,
has just been flattened to the floor in just less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
And come to think of it, the structure, yes, the structure that took resources, time, energy to be erected was just brought down in less than 10 minutes.
Anthony, this exercise, there are a lot of development are also coming up, and in the coming days we'll also see.
Well, it depends on the owners of the property.
Yeah, I'm speaking of those who are here. I mean, we just watch on Facebook.
What do you mean,
They're
discussions?
Yes, they are unfolding on Facebook right now.
Sure.
And even among the law enforcement officer, there was,
Yeah. Yes, there is currently there is a trending video
Yes.
of two officers unappropriately taking two items from the ground.
Yeah, from this building.
Yes, from this building. And those are precisely t-shirts. There are some black t-shirts lying down on the floor in plastic, unused, brand new. And we noticed, I mean, from the video,
Yes.
that's trending on social media of the officers trying to slit some of the t-shirts.
Did they see where they're doing?
I think, I mean, if that is proving that they were actually trying to slit those sites.
Watch a video.
I agree. I can't I can't conclude that they were trying to steal or slit, those sites into their pockets or what have you. But that was squarely beyond professional. It's definitely squarely unprofessional. It kind of even undermines the essence of this process in the first place. Respectfully.
Yeah, and the bigger news today.
But this is the biggest news. This is the most trending news.
Yeah.
Across Africa, online on social media, wherever you go, everyone will be talking about this particular content or this news. And the government is actually enforcing the law. Once the court asks for the support of the police, they are honored to feel obligated to, honor the request of the court. Definitely.
This is a very gigantic building, well furnished, and in this building, the law enforcement officer discovers 2 lethal weapons in this building. A very organized, well furnished building. We cannot tell exactly which one of the executives from the CDC that actually owned this building, but all we can say is there was discovery of 2 lethal weapons in this particular building. And also we saw petrol bomb that was confirmed by the Liberia National Police, and the forensic team from the LMP also here making sure that everything here is being brought under control. But since this morning, around 5:55 this morning, we have been here. The angle here have been peaceful so far. There is no retaliation from supporters or sympathizers of the CDC. The demolition exercise from the civil law court has currently been executed by the Liberia National Police. Have been peaceful so far, but we have been informed from last night that the CDC will be having executive meeting this afternoon by 1 p.m. So we are still waiting to see whether the CDC will still have that executive meeting after the headquarters have been finally demolished by order from civil law court at the Temple of Justice in Monrovia. I'm yet the Janga Ko, the former district number 8 representative. I'm yet to see the Ivan Wise. I'm yet to see the Mama Sikaba. I'm yet to see any of them. But the place, as you can see, have been demolished by order from the civil law court at the Temple of Justice in Monrovia. So folks, as you are watching the state television, LMTV live, coming to you this morning from Congo Town, around the Lone Star Hair Office, where the headquarters of the CDC is situated, and an eviction order is currently being executed by the government of Liberia. I'm here along with Anthony William, and I'm Aaron Talu. Together we are bringing you this live unfolding from the headquarters of the former ruling CDC.
So the aggressive excavator operator has calmed down a little bit from what it looks like, and he has driven the excavator off the premises already. It's kind of heading out eventually from what it looks like. Yes, so we're walking in the rubble here and making our way to the exit. From what it looks like, this process has started since at around 5:30 a.m. this morning here in the CDC party headquarters, and I'm standing amongst the remains or the rubble that has been left behind by the excavator that have demolished almost all of the structures here in the compound of CDC. Careful, there are nails on the floor and zinc. So, Aaron, the excavator that was brought to aid the evacuation process is now departing the compound of the CDC. As you can see, it's driving or tracking outside already. It's been like more than an hour now since this machine has been knocking structures here and there, and of course demolishing the famous CDC HQ, demolishing the famous sycamore tree building, breaking down trees, and of course the police themselves made several discoveries this morning in some of the structures. We're speaking about lethal weapons, bullets, handguns also were discovered. This morning when we arrived at the entry, there was a huge fire set by the young partisans here in the party headquarters, some of whom fled the entire place, except the police were able to only arrest like 4 persons, one of whom was in the building where the lethal weapons were discovered. Also, there was a discovery of petrol bombs that were prepared, expected to be used, but again the police confiscated them, and once they arrived in here, they divided themselves into several teams this morning, tackling this entire location, coming from the beach side, the Bonage beach side, the Congo Town side, the Cinco side, and to execute the court order to evict the CDC from its party headquarters here in Congo Town. I've been here with my colleague Aaron Talu, Director D-Flow Flomo, and this has been a long coverage that started since 5 a.m. this morning to bring you live coverage of the eviction of the CDC from its party headquarters, a 4.2 acre of property that the CDC have occupied for over or around like 20 years now, and this place have made history. This is the grounds where former President George Weah shed tears in 2017 when the elections results were announced, and that structure you're looking at was exactly where he stood on the balcony waving to thousands of supporters who came in here to cheer their path to victory. Right here on my right hand side is the stage where top political discussions were always held. Campaigns were always held. On this stage, former President George Weah will share phone with his partisans, dance the famous Kiss Daniel Booga dance, including Minister of Finance, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, former Minister of Finance, and top hierarchies of the CDC were all standing to speak to members of their party. If you also look right here on my left hand side, this building behind me is the Muna Tech, named after late CDC lawmaker. And this building, since it was constructed, we're informed it has only put out one cohort of graduates that was named after late CDC lawmaker Muna Peno. Now it's no more from what you're looking at. It has been demolished. And so folks, this has been a long coverage since 5:30 a.m. this morning. We arrived here at the headquarters of the CDC. So that was just a summary of what transpired since we arrived here. Discovery of lethal weapons. The police also arrested 4 persons. In conclusion, they arrested 4 persons also. There was one individual who was handcuffed and he was occupying the building where the weapons were discovered. So wherever you watched and followed us from, my name is Anthony Williams. It's been a long day, as you can notice. I'm even stuttering, but we'd like to say thanks for watching and thanks for following. For those of you who are following, leave your comments in the comment section. Thanks for listening to us on ELBC Radio 99.9 FM. We want to thank our technicians and everyone at the studio there at LNTV, who were also told that the folks from GTV and also other Ghanaian media institutions also followed and relayed our broadcast this morning live here from the CDC party headquarters. Wherever you watched us from, we'd like to say thanks for watching. My name is Anthony Williams and I was my colleague Aaron Talu. Bye bye for now.